If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
Welcome to Billy Ho Sports. Thank you for tuning in. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and don't forget to like and comment on the videos. I hope you enjoy the show. Now, let's go. Hello, Billy Ho here. Week 5 action, NFL DFS DraftKings. We are going to cover some running backs today. And before we do that, welcome to Billy Ho Sports. Glad you're here. If you're a new subscriber, welcome. Thank you so much. We are doing something in collaboration with one of our Discord members. I also moderate a Discord channel. It's completely 100% free. Link is in the description. We cover not just NFL, but PGA. Those two mostly. Big MMA following. There's a lot of guys in there that discuss MMA. I don't personally oversee that, but it's like I said, it's free. You get on there and you discuss different strategies and plays and bounce ideas off one another. Everybody's opinion counts, or nobody's opinion counts. That's the way I feel about it. So everybody's valuable. So jump on in there. Don't be a one of those creepers. Just get in there and post some messages. You'll find very, very welcome members. So that's enough of that. Now, what we are going to do with the YouTube channel, once I hit 250 subscribers, we are going to run a free roll contest on DraftKings. And it is going to be $250 in total prizes. First place gets the whopping $200. Second place will get $30. Third place will get $20. So that is what we got going on there. Now, what you need to do is click the link in the description for the hashtag Twitter link. That'll take you right to the thread, and you can retweet the link and leave your DraftKings username, or you can leave your DraftKings username in the comments. Either one of those ways, I should be able to privately contact you if you win. That way I can get your Cash App information and you can get your money. Because if I don't, then you don't get your money, period. Because I'm not going to sit there and go on Twitter and blast out all over the place. Who's Johnny Quicksilver Shoes 726947 on DraftKings username? He won our contest. No, it ain't gonna work like that. It's too easy to do. You put it in one or two places. I can message you on YouTube just as easily as I can private message you on Twitter, or if you're in our Discord. As long as I can get to you privately and I know that it's you that won, then you're going to get paid. So enough of that. I wanted to talk real quick on the video I did. Check it out. It's how he won $10K on DraftKings. He goes by the name of Squirrel Man on that's his DraftKings username, and on our Discord he goes by at Big D Paranormal on Twitter. His name's Jose. He's a good dude. And this video, I had a couple of takeaways. I never really did say, but I figure the main takeaway is that I personally need to stop being my own worst enemy when it comes to lineup constructions, because I've got the morning live shows playing and I hear people voices in my ear as I'm making lineups, this guy, that guy, and I get talked off of players. I got talked off of Austin Eckler. Mainly because of salary, really, not so much, just people on the TV telling me, but it was salary. I would get down to my builds and I would end up having 700 or 800 left on salary. And I've got Austin Eckler sitting in there. And I go, well, I could pay up and get Derrick Henry. I can pay up and get Jonathan Taylor, and I would pivot off Eckler and go right up to Jonathan Taylor, or, one of those guys. So that cost me because obviously Eckler had the huge game. If I would have just stuck to my guns and maybe spent that salary somewhere else, paid up for defense, or a better, cheaper wide receiver or something else. So that was some mistakes that I've noticed, and I'm hoping to correct those this week and do what you say you're going to do at the beginning of the week. Like last week, I said I'm never punting tight end again. Well, what did I end up doing? I end up going off of TJ Hawkinson. Well, I did play TJ Hawkinson, don't get me wrong. But I went off of that mid range, which has been mashing lately, and I end up playing guys down, punting tight ends and stuff. And it's just not working out this year. So maybe leave the salary on the table or buy up on defense. So that's where I got from there. So week 5, 12 games, main slate. Don't forget the 9:30 game, Giants Packers, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. It's in London. And of course, with running backs, the first part of my strategy is to go through those same team totals, higher implied totals, looking for big home favorites, guys with high volume, guys involved in the pass game. You hear them say 5-tool running backs, 5 box. I don't need 5. Okay. But you need 3. You want the high volume, you want the passing love, and you want to be a big favorite. Home is okay, but you want to be a favorite at least. So let's take a look at some of the games. All right. So we are looking at the DraftKings main slate is what I cover. So just get that out of the way. And the first guy we're going to look at, obviously, is the highest priced guy, is Christian McCaffrey. Now, CMC is down $200 to $8,500 from last week. The game script ended up giving him 9 of 9. He had his best week of the season, looking at the game log here, but he had 9 catches on 9 targets, 81 yards and a touchdown. That's the Christian McCaffrey we're looking for. So that might have been more of a product of them being down because he only got 8 attempts, but they're playing San Francisco, very formidable running defense. People may shy away after they saw the performance on Monday night, but as we all know, NFL can change from week to week. And so San Francisco riding high off a Monday night, short week, short practice, cross-country travel. It looks like a pretty good spot, in my opinion. He just needs those touchdown upsides to pay you off. And at 8,500, even if he only gets 17 DraftKings points, it's not going to kill you because you're not paying $10K for him like you were 2 years ago. So, and we're going to go right to Derrick Henry next, 8,300 at Washington after another good game. He's going to be popular because this is for the second week in a row. He was more involved in the pass game. He only caught 3 for 33, but that's a touchdown. That's 6 points. So he gets 6 here and he gets 6 for the TD, and then he gets you your 100 yards. And there you go. Back-to-back 25-plus point weeks. That's paying off. If you 3X on an 8K running back, you're doing fine. So he hasn't had that slate-breaking week just yet, but, he's going to hit this point with 114 and the touchdown and blah, blah, blah. And then he's going to rip off a 75-yarder, and then that 26 is going to go to 40. So keep that in mind. I always like Derrick Henry because he's a guy that can get loose on you. And they'll ground and pound. Washington at home will probably be a formidable opponent. And but if they continue that ground and pound pace, they'll win the game. Nick Chubb's going to be another popular guy. He's facing the 30th ranked run defense at home, Chargers game, only 8K. And this is what he's been doing. There's those touchdowns, 3-1-1. So 5 touchdowns in 3 games. And he's he's crushing it. And he's breaking the 100 yards. He's similar to Henry in that aspect, but because he doesn't get the love in the pass game, excuse me. But he can crack that hundy, and he usually breaks off a long one here or there, 30 to 60 yards or whatever. So he's in play. I'll have to see what ownership dictates later on this week. Of course, I already mentioned in the intro there, Austin Eckler. Now, I think it might be chasing going back to him on the road at Cleveland. I think this was a squeaky wheel gets the grease here situation because they were basically crushing Houston in that game, and they gave him a little bit more work, and he got an extra touchdown or two, and cracking it open. Of course, also Keenan Allen being out does pivot some of that love over there, and he's questionable again with the hamstring. He might be sidelined Thursday. I don't know if he's going to miss again, but this was what I was talking about earlier in the year. And Josh, that's why Joshua Palmer's been kind of disappointing because I got exactly what I wanted when I drafted Joshua Palmer in my home league was Keenan Allen going out of the lineup. And he just hasn't really been able to fully take advantage of that. So what we need to do now is think about some other players. And back to Nick Chubb real quick. I'm going to throw Kareem Hunt in there as well at 6K. He is a nice low-owned play. And I think that one of those 25-point games is coming for him if he vultures a touchdown because he catches passes out of the backfield and he gets a lot of work. So if they get a lead at all in that game, they're really going to try to control clock because we all know Jacoby Brissett. I always call him the definition of mediocrity as a quarterback, but he's probably worse than that. I mean, he's just so mundane. I think he had a fourth down play last week where he rolled out and he threw it out of bounds. What are you doing, dude? Chuck it down the field, take a chance. If it gets intercepted, it's a punt. God, that's just irritating as shit. But anyway, the next guys on the list, this is a total smash spot too. There is some running backs in some smash spots this week. So you're going to hear smash spot a lot. So Dalvin Cook coming in at 7,300, which is way too cheap for Dalvin Cook. And I'm going to include Alex Madison at 6,400. Home game, weak run defense in Chicago. Chicago not efficient on offense. They try to run too much. They don't throw enough, but they get a lot of 3 and outs. So multiple TDs for each guy. What I think can happen is Cook could break them off in 3 quarters of action and have 100 yards and 2 touchdowns and pay you off just fine. And there is scenarios where Madison gets there too, but then, you got to worry about Jefferson and Cousins and then offense throwing more. So it's a really big risk to play Madison only in large scale GPPs. And if you're playing more than 20 lineups, would I consider Madison? And I think what I come to is on these split is a ratio. And I think I would use Cook in a 3-to-1 ratio in lineups. Like if you're building 150 or you're building 50 or whatever, there's going to be 3 Cooks to every 1 Madison. So if you go that route and you go 60% Cook or something, I don't know, but you understand where I'm coming from. The next guy on the list is another smash spot, 6,900 Lenny Fournette, cheap enough. And he's a good pivot off the Brady stacks, which will be very popular. And this could be one of those weeks like he did in Indy last year where he gets 3-4 touchdowns. So he's pushing lock button status for me. He's so involved in the offense and heavily involved in the pass game. He won't probably get that much this week playing Atlanta, but he crushes Atlanta. Brady crushes Atlanta. I'm going to have stacks with Leonard Fournette, even with Brady in there. So you can't get too much here in that aspect. But the first interesting play of the week is going to be Alvin Kamara at home versus Seattle, 6,600. Says he's good to go. He feels great. I know they held him limited practice Thursday, but he'll probably be getting more work today. Keep an eye on that. Friday's practice is usually the most important. They do walkthroughs on Saturday, so that's not really that important. But Friday practice is always the key. So you could see a scenario where him and Matt, he runs all over a weak, tight Seattle defense. at home could be. We do need to monitor the statuses of both Michael Thomas and Jameis Winston, who did not practice with the team so far this week. Mike Thomas might be out again. And I don't know what the quarterback situation is. Taysom Hill, we all know what he does. So he could hurt Kamara in that aspect. So that is kind of a iffy situation. So keep an eye on it. But 6,600 for a guy like Alvin Kamara is pretty damn enticing, in my opinion. Now, the next several guys I don't have a lot of interest in. I know Jamal Williams had the big week last week, but that was against the Seattle defense I just talked about. They're going to New England, who is very formidable defense. I don't think Detroit does as well as they did before. Now, I will say Najee Harris, probably same boat. He's going to have tough sledding. The offensive line is terrible, and Buffalo's defense is good. I don't want to chase Miles Sanders again. If Boston Scott's out again, I may look at him because that would be interesting. But if Boston Scott returns, I'll have a hard time on that one. I already talked about Madison, James Robinson, and Travis Etienne. Jacksonville at home. Big favorite, weak defense. Houston's the worst run defense in the league. We could see more Etienne in this game. He is significantly cheaper. You got, but James Robinson, you can't go wrong with him. But if you want to save some salary, you can get down here to Etienne at somewhere in the neighborhood of 5,100. So, and he catches passes. Sooner or later, him and his old college teammate, Trevor Lawrence, are going to get rolling. He's going to have one of these games where he hasn't gotten in the end zone yet. I thought he had scored a touchdown, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he scored one and it got called back. But he's due for some kind of breakout game. 5,100. All you need is 15 to 20 DraftKings points. So I'm good with that. Dual running backs are a thing down here. So I like Etienne and James Robinson. And I also like Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson. So Damian Harris is a little bit more expensive, but they're 56 and 5,500 respectively. Stevenson has been getting more snaps and is more involved in the pass game. Interesting. But Detroit is just bad. They are second worst in the league in allowing points to running backs. So either one of these guys can smash. Damian Harris is the guy on the ground. He's probably a dude that you're going to have a touchdown out of. So either one of these guys are safe-ish floors, cheap running backs, and they could run rough shot. I don't think Zapp is going to be throwing the ball a hell of a lot in this game. They're easily going to run it 35 to 40 times. So both these guys are going to be, like you said, the 5-tool players, 15 to 20 touches. I think each of these guys hit that mark, honestly. They can both get 15 to 20 touches easily. Not a lot of interest in Jeff Wilson going to Carolina. I know they run it a lot in Carolina. They could get a lead in this game, maybe. Could be low key, but not interested. Not interested in Henderson. Definitely not interested in Ingram, being that Kamara is going to be back. Now, another running back pair. I've got Breece Hall and Michael Carter, the opposite of the Jets. So the Miami game, they're at home. Raheem Mostert, 5K. Another guy I like. So there's basically Mostert I favor because Teddy Bridgewater is a pro's pro. I really like him to lead this team. They were going to Mostert heavily in that game, and maybe I don't think it's because they were behind. I like the Kyle Shanahan head coach at Miami. He loves Mostert. Mostert won me a big GPP a few years ago when I late swapped him in the afternoon and he went off. He's got breakaway speed. He can catch the ball. He's seen some targets. Teddy threw to him a couple of times when he came in. And Teddy's a pro's pro, way better than a dude like Jacoby Brissett. So the New York Jets have both Breece Hall and Michael Carter. And both of them, I would roll Hall first, but Hall does have a Q tag with a knee issue, so we'll monitor that. If Hall's out, Michael Carter then becomes a very good play at 4,900. He still gets some touches, so but not enough to warrant playing him even at 4,900. So that's a good pool of running backs, I think. So that's going to cover the week 5 running back show. Remember what I told you at the beginning about the DraftKings contest. Let's keep subbing to the channel. It's hopefully word gets around a little bit better. It's off to a bit of a slow start. I thought there'd be more involved by now. If you're worried about paying for anything, I saw somebody post something that said was free to subscribe, but now you have to pay to join. I have no idea what that means. There is nothing that costs anything on anything that I do. The Discord's free. The YouTube subscription is obviously free. I thought people knew more about YouTube. I mean, you can subscribe to the YouTube Premium, but I don't get any money for that. So just think of that. It's all free. All right. So get her done. Subscribe to the channel. Support Billy Ho Sports at Billy Ho Sports on Twitter now. So holler at your boy. And until next time, thank you for watching. Appreciate it.